Is the mic on? No, the mic's not on.
Hold on. We should get one from the going green. It's not on you because this light wants to be green. I just get that. There we go. See? Green.
That's what you're doing. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Molly Jacobson, the President and CEO of Commonwealth Corporation, and it's a privilege to serve as your MC this morning. First, a heartfelt thank you to Curry College for welcoming us so graciously to this beautiful campus. We are so proud to partner with institutions like Curry that are deeply committed to education, workforce development, and building pathways to opportunity. I'm joined today by Massachusetts Secretary of Labor and Workforce Development, Lauren Jones. You'll hear from Secretary Jones in just a moment, and also several distinguished guests. So Jay Gonzalez, President of Curry College. State Rep Richard Wells Jr., some wonderful colleagues from the Commission on the Status of Persons with Disability, and today we're joined by Imen Bouzayan Saidi. And from the Massachusetts Office on Disability, we're honored to welcome Alan Matenko, who I saw somewhere back there, and then so we're so grateful to each of you for being here today. I'm also fortunate to be joined by some fantastic colleagues from Commonwealth Corporation. Maybe they could just wave. Adil Suleiman, Kayla Johnson, Alana Mallon, Ursula Santana. We have Natalie Mullen, and finally, our birthday boy, Jeff Smith. We said we would throw him a party. So a big thank you to my team for the tireless work they do to advance equity and strengthen the workforce pipeline, and then ensure training leads to meaningful career outcomes, which is what we're talking about today. Individuals with disabilities make up 10% of Massachusetts' working age population, and for the sake of Massachusetts' prosperity, we can't afford not to tap this talent. ComCore is so proud to administer the Young Adults with Disabilities program on behalf of the Healey-Driscoll Administration because it connects promising young adults to high-quality training, career readiness support, and employment in vital industries. And the presence of all of you today is a powerful reminder to us that progress happens then when we work together, when we remove barriers and open doors to careers where every individual can contribute and thrive. So thank you for the vital role that you play in making this vision a reality. And we have a great program this morning. So to get us started, I'd like to introduce the Secretary, Massachusetts Secretary of Labor and Workforce Development, Lauren Jones.
Thank you very much, Molly. Thank you for being the MC of all MCs. It's great to have you back as well. And I most especially want to thank President Gonzalez. Thank you for hosting us here today. I had the pleasure of joining President Gonzalez just before this to hear from some students through Curry's PAL program, and it really underscores exactly why we are here today and the investments that we are celebrating, knowing that there's promising students that are studying right here. There are amazing students that are going through training programs that we're lifting up, and it's a great pathway to employment opportunities that we're celebrating as well. So thank you, Jay, for your leadership on this. Certainly thank you, Representative Wells, and I believe virtually joining us is Representative Brandy Fluker-Reed, who is joining us virtually, and certainly recognizing so many partners in state government that are here today that Molly has already recognized. The Commission on the Status of Persons with Disabilities, our Massachusetts Office of Disabilities represented as well, and I was just on the phone this morning with Commissioner Wolf of Massability. I know that she's not here, but she's certainly rooting and cheering for us as well. You know, it's wonderful to see so many partners that are here as part of the grant that we are celebrating, the grants that we are celebrating today, but also recognizing in order to get to this milestone, it's really taken partnership. It's taken partnership in building out relationships between training providers, academia, employers, training staff to make grant applications a reality, but then certainly all the hard work that it takes to then ensure we're tapping talent and creating more meaningful opportunities through the job readiness and employment opportunities that we know we can and continue to lift up here in Massachusetts. You know, as I was thinking about the conversation with the PAL students before today, just before this event today, and also just the purpose of the grant that we're celebrating, young adults with disabilities. It reminds me of the Healey-Driscoll Administration's 3 core principles. We focus on greater competitiveness, greater equity, and greater affordability. These are values, not just principles, and they help to continue to drive our action to ensuring that every resident here in Massachusetts has access to the opportunities they need to succeed. And it's also so vital as we think of those 3 core principles, as we think about our workforce system. We need to have a strong and robust workforce system, and it takes that partnership that we're celebrating today. It also is important for us to remind ourselves why we do what we do, and it's centered on the people that we're lifting up to drive that greater opportunity for equity, affordability, and competitiveness. And I want to make sure that as we lead our workforce agenda on behalf of the Healey-Driscoll Administration with so many partners in state government and beyond, we stay focused on the people. It's the people who make up our current workforce, but most especially the promising opportunities that our future talent will take part in, and ensuring that we are inviting them to the table, giving them the tools and the resources, because we know far too often there are barriers to employment. And we need to be intentional with reducing those barriers to employment, most especially for those who are unemployed and underemployed, but also as we look ahead to that future talent, any individual can see themselves in employment opportunities right here in Massachusetts, which is really what brings us here today to announce an exciting investment in our people and the funding programs to support residents who are facing barriers to employment. So I'm excited to announce on behalf of the Healey-Driscoll Administration, we are awarding $290,000 in grant funding to 4 initiatives across the state to support job training, employment placement, and post-placement services, which will reach 40 young adults with disabilities seeking job opportunities in Massachusetts. As part of this announcement, the administration is also awarding $77,500 in planning grants to prepare and design future training for young adults with disabilities to gain workforce training in fields like healthcare, technology, business, and more. And we're here at Curry because we are celebrating a partnership with grantees like Curry to do exactly this work. We also are joined by other partners including JBS, the ARC of Greater Brockton, and Blackstone Valley Hub for Workforce Development. Our program, run through Commonwealth Corporation for young adults with disabilities, builds on this strategic investment on our people, making sure that as we attract and retain our talent, as we develop talent, we are doing so in a way that is closing the skills gaps and lifting up individuals that we know can thrive right here. I'll just take a moment to demonstrate the impact that we are making and that we will continue to make because of this kind of partnership. The ARC of Greater Brockton, for example, was awarded $67,500 in funding to support 25 young adults with disabilities in completing a 12-week workforce development program in food services and job readiness skills in the culinary industry. Afterwards, programs will earn industry-recognized credentials, including ServSafe, which is so critical in culinary, allergen safety as well, gain on-the-job training with employer partners, and build the soft skills through coaching and digital learning to prepare for roles that we know are so important in our culinary industry here in Massachusetts. They are partnering with employers like Brockton Rocks and Copley at Stoughton, and that is providing hands-on learning opportunities and real-world employment opportunities to the young adults who will be participating, gaining the relevant skills so that they can further thrive upon completing their training, and most especially as they move on to employment. But I'll end with our why. It's why we are here today. It's why we're celebrating grants across all our 4 grantees. It's why we're thinking about the 40 young individuals that are coming through this program in the coming weeks. It's really, again, our people that we're investing in. You'll hear shortly from Ben Foster, and he will share his firsthand experience and reflections through going through a program supported by JVS that we've partnered on in the past to help provide employment opportunities in the healthcare industry. And I'll leave it to Ben to share his personal experience, his story, but it really is one example of the many examples that through intentionality, through mission-driven work that we're all dedicated to doing, it provides more opportunities for individuals to pursue careers right here. And finally, I'll leave on this last note. Certainly, when we think about workforce development, I believe, and I know the Healey-Driscoll Administration believes, that workforce development, our workforce agenda, is also grounded in recognizing the importance of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging in the workplace. And I know that all of our collaborators and partners that are dedicated to this work believe in that as well. And as we continue to lift up these partnerships, lift up this kind of collaboration, we will continue to beat that drum here in Massachusetts as an inclusive Commonwealth, and recognizing that we want to celebrate the diversity of our workforce, and today is a perfect example of doing exactly that. So thank you all.
Thank you, Secretary, and thank you to the Healey-Driscoll Administration. This is such important work. Next on our agenda, I'd love to introduce formally the president of Curry College, Jay Gonzalez.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Curry College. I see many people who work here, but many new people and visitors, so welcome. We really appreciate your being here, and I appreciate the opportunity to host this event. I want to thank Governor Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Secretary Jones for their leadership in supporting important initiatives like this. The Commonwealth Corporation, who've been amazing partners in working with us over the last few months on this new initiative that they're helping to fund. Thank you for what you do to improve the workforce here in Massachusetts. None of this happens, of course, without the legislature, who's providing the funding for important initiatives like this. So thanks to our representative here at Curry, Representative Richard Wells, and his colleagues for funding this important initiative. I want to welcome Ben. I'm looking forward to your comments, Ben. And I want to congratulate the other grant recipients who are here today, and thank you for the really critical and important work you do. This grant is through a program that is not a charitable enterprise. This program is intended to help support a really important mission of the Commonwealth. And you heard Secretary Jones talk about it. The talent in Massachusetts, the workforce, our people are what drive our economy. And it's our calling card here in Massachusetts. We have some of the best workforce in the country. And it's why we have one of the strongest economies in the country. And so one of the things that Secretary Jones wakes up every day thinking about is how are we going to maintain this workforce. She told one of our students today, who she met with, who's originally from California and is here, she asked him specifically, yeah, but when you graduate, are you going to get a job here in Massachusetts? Because we got to keep the talent, right? So, this program recognizes the power of difference and the fact that we have a population of people in this state who are underutilized to fill that workforce pipeline that we so desperately need to continue to grow our economy and to provide opportunity to people who can add a lot of value to employers and to our economy overall. That is what this grant program is about, and it's amazing that the state is funding it and that the administration is providing this opportunity to organizations like Curry and those of us here to help maximize this population of people who can add so much to the workforce in Massachusetts. Curry has long known the power of difference. We have been supporting students with learning differences for 55 years through the Program for Advancement of Learning. It's the first program like it at any higher ed institution in the country. And I have had the pleasure as president here for 2 years now to meet lots of students who are in it, lots of students who graduated from it, lots of parents of students who went through it. And they use words like life-changing, transformational. I had a parent of 2 children of his who were brothers who both went to Curry and both participated in the PAL program, who said that they always struggled with school, weren't sure they were going to be successful in college or in career. And the PAL program at Curry, the words he used, was got them out of the prison they were in. And they both went on, one to be a successful lawyer and one to be a successful businessman. And that's the power of difference. Very capable people who maybe need a little extra support, help approaching things in different ways, knowing the strength, having confidence in the strength that they have, and being able to advocate for themselves. And that's something that we have decided we want to lean into more. We recently established the Neurodiversity Center for Excellence here at Curry College so that we could broaden our impact not only for students at Curry, but beyond. And the grants that we are receiving from the Commonwealth Corporation is allowing us to plan a new program that is going to help neurodivergent young people prepare for success in the workforce. We're going to partner with some employers and help prepare them to be ready to support these neurodivergent workers to be successful so that they can leverage all of their power and all of their strengths to add value to those employers. And we are thrilled to be able to do it. I can't thank the Commonwealth, the Secretary, Commonwealth Corps enough for their partnership in this. And I really want to thank my team, Bob Shea, our Provost, Mike Bosco, our Associate Provost, Maura McNamara, who is the Executive Director of our new Neurodiversity Center for Excellence, and the whole team at the Neurodiversity Center and here at Curry for the work you're doing to help us expand our impact and develop programs like this. So thanks to all of you, and thank you, Secretary Jones, for being here today.
Thank you, President Gonzalez, and thank you really to your whole team. You throw a fabulous party. Good birthday party too, right, Jeff? Another one of Compor's wonderful partners in this program is Jewish Vocational Services, JVS. They've been a champion in this work, providing training, career guidance, and support to young adults with disabilities in Boston, Brockton, and surrounding communities. So today we're very proud to hear from Ben Forrester, who will share his experience and reflections on how this program has opened doors and created meaningful career opportunities at Mass General Brigham Spalding. So please join me in welcoming Ben.
Thank you for inviting me here today, and it's been a pleasure to have me here. So, good afternoon. My name is Ben Forrester, and I work at Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital in Cambridge. In the summer of 2023, I participated in JVS Boston's Transitions to Work program, funded by the Commonwealth Corporation. Through this training, I learned how a hospital operates, working in shipping and receiving, stocking medical supplies, delivering them to patient rooms, and even helping set up beds and equipment on the floors. After my internship, my JVS coach worked with me one-on-one to find a job. In October of 2023, I was hired as a unit service aide at Spalding, Cambridge. Now, I take patient samples to the lab, restock patient rooms, and prep carts with gloves, gowns, and wipes, and respond to patient call lights to make sure they get the help they need. In the future, I hope to work in a laboratory position assisting with disease research. I am also interested in exploring central sterile processing positions at local hospitals. I'm grateful to the Commonwealth Corporation, JBS, and Spalding for giving me the skills, experience, and confidence to grow my career. Your support makes it possible for people with disabilities to find meaningful work that benefits both us and the Commonwealth as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben, and congratulations to you. All right, to round us out, we are so honored to welcome someone who is no stranger to Curry College. With 4 decades of dedicated public service in this area, I'm pleased to welcome State Representative Richard Wells.
4 decades, how did that happen? My God. Thank you, Molly. I'll tell you a funny story. I was, when I walked in, someone asked me this morning, said, and Molly is included, said, do you know much about Curry? And the truth of it is, as a young boy, my father was a policeman, and this was his sector. This was the area that he patrolled for 23 years. And this was a historic neighborhood for many reasons, not just Curry. This is the neighborhood of Howard Johnson grew up on the street, Roderick Island on the street, E.M. Lowe's Theaters lived on the street. There were a lot of people who lived here over the years, and I was not much more than 5 years old the first time my father brought me on this campus. Ironically, in 1984, I would become a police officer in the Mill Police Department, and this would be my first patrol sector, which I patrolled for quite a time. In Curry, and I said this to President Gonzalez this morning, Curry, for as long as I can remember, both in my public safety career and in my public service career and in my new career as a state representative, one that I never thought I'd have, never dreamt of, but that's a story in itself. Why don't we go to lunch and come back and we'll talk about it. Curry has truly been a part of this community in so many ways. The color purple one, Secretary, is very impressive. I'm really impressed. First time, I'm like, very impressed. Staff, A+ on that. I didn't think she was a Minnesota Vikings fan. This is all Curry today. So, from the time I first came here as a young cop, and sometimes in policing, not sometimes, often in policing, you see things that are really hard. And Ben's story is a tough story. But Ben's a bigger champion today as Tom Brady is, who stands in a statue at Foxborough today. In Foxborough, for what he has done, for what he has accomplished. 44 million people wake up in this country every day with some type of intellectual or developmental need. That's not a small number. And it's very hard. And Curry, in its leadership in this arena, has, for as long as I can remember, because you can only imagine as a young policeman, some of the calls that you get sometimes in an area like this, they can be really, really tough. And Curry has been a leader in this in more ways than I can think. I remember once, as a young sergeant, taking a young policeman for their first, it was a policewoman, for her first ride through this campus, and she said to me, we're going to the parking lots. She said, wow, there's a lot of out-of-state license plates here. I said, yeah. I said, because this school is one that specializes and has programs like PAL, and brings people and gives them chances that many people never would have had. The type of story that President Gonzalez just told about the 2 former alumni who have had such wonderful careers. And that is something that exists every day. And to Molly and everyone at Commonwealth Corps, this is the type of thing that you do each and every day. Because one of the things that I said, I don't get to see the governor and lieutenant governor that often, but one of the things that I did say in a recent meeting that I sit on the committee of higher ed, and they were testifying before us about a college initiative. And one of the things that this initiative does today, and much of what the work of the Healey Administration has done, is you talk about affecting people that haven't even had a dream yet about what they want to be or what they want to do. They're not even sure. This grant and this type of effort on behalf of the constituents by this administration, by Secretary Jones, by the governor, Lieutenant Governor, and my colleagues in the legislature. I don't include myself in that. I'm too new. I'm in an apprenticeship. I'm very young. I tell people that all the time. You're setting the table for the future, because the life in the world we live in can be really hard and have really, really tough challenges. And you need compassion and you need courage. Not physical courage, but the type of courage we saw as kids watching The Wizard of Oz about the lion who follows the Albert Road looking for courage to find out that that courage to make a decision was inside you all along. That's the type of courage we need in leadership today. And so I leave you with a quote that I read today by someone very well known to Commonwealth COA, very well known in the intellectual developmental, by a gentleman, a former honorary doctorate recipient from this college, a former state rep, my political mentor, a gentleman by the name of James Brett, who is the president of the Legal Council, who this morning, on speaking on this very issue, I never take quotes, he's going to die when I tell him I did this, said, "We need to do more to ensure that people with disabilities are not left behind as we move forward in this world." That statement could never be more truer than it is today. So congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to President Gonzalez. Thank you everyone from Commonwealth Court. Thank you, Secretary. And thank you all for being here. And thank you, Ben, for doing what you do today to make our life a better place. Thank you all.
I want to end by thanking all of our partners for the amazing work that you are doing. We're so looking forward to seeing the impact you'll continue to have. For everyone with us today, it wouldn't be an official event if we didn't take a group photo. So that's what we're going to do. But thanks for joining us and have a great rest of your day.